Well, hello again, everybody, and welcome to Aquarius Rising Africa. And we have with us tonight, or morning for you guys mostly. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I hope it's a happy day. We have with us Dave Weiss, and we're going to be talking about the flat earth theory today, which I have to say I'm super excited about. So welcome, Dave. I'm very, very happy to have you on our show today. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Glad to talk to people that are curious about what the heck is this flat earth thing and how does it tie into everything that I believe. And today you're going to learn some things that, you're going to see some doors that you never knew were there. Now, I don't want you to be a flat earther. I kind of do by the end of the show, but I want you to walk away with going, all right, I never thought about that. I need to do this research myself. I need to look here, and I'm going to show you how to do that because right now it's being censored terribly, and I'm going to show you how to get around all of that.
Awesome. Well, I'm really looking forward to that because honestly, this is one topic I have very, very little knowledge of, and I'm a little bit embarrassed to say that because I feel like I've been a bit ignorant. I've always had this theory. I don't really care if the earth is round or flat as long as we have a happy place to be. However, having said that, I came to the conclusion that if the earth is flat, and we have been deceived since pretty much the beginning of time into believing that we live in this globe, there's a reason that we are being deceived. So I would love to look behind what all of these reasons then are. I love the idea that you have this theory. I love the idea of learning more, of opening up doorways in my mind. So I'm absolutely going to hand over to you. And maybe just tell us a little bit about yourself as well. How did, what is your background? How did you come to this understanding that you have?
Yeah, so I was doing a podcast on all sorts of conspiracies, and then people started sending me flat earth stuff. So I said, what is this flat earth stuff? I actually banned people for even suggesting that I look because it's so dumb. We've been programmed, and you just said one of the programmed things. What difference does it make? You've been programmed to say that. Why, You've been programmed to say, how does the sun set? What about boats over the curve? What about seasons? What about day and night? You've been programmed to say, what about the men, the Apollo program? All of this stuff is you've been programmed before you can talk that the earth is a globe. Yeah. And so as we go through today, we're going to try to unprogram that stuff. And I was watching some of your videos and what you're talking about with Gaia, Mother Earth, our energies, the sun, right? The sun, good news, isn't 93 million miles away. It's right here within the Earth system, just as you see it, okay? When we look at the sun, you're supposed to believe it's 93 million miles away. 93 million miles away. That's absolute insanity. And think about this. Where do you live? Where are you guys located? Where are you located?
South Africa, Namibia.
Okay, so I said that's in south. So you're south of the Tropic of Capricorn.
Yeah.
Okay, so in July during your winter, you can't go out and get much vitamin D from the sun because it's so far away. It's so low in the sky. But in your summer, you go out and you can get more sun. Here in the north, in December, when the sun is high in the sky, I can go out, I can't get a tan, I can't feel the heat, and I lose vitamin D, I think. I'm not getting any vitamin D. But in the summer, when the sun is on the horizon, just when it's rising or setting, I can get a tan, I can absorb vitamin D, and they tell us that the sun is 3.5 million miles farther from me than it is during my winter. That's insane. That doesn't make any sense in the heliocentric model. This, what I'm showing you here, doesn't make any sense. The sun that we see, we have a personal relationship with the sun. We all see it in a position relative to our own. Okay? This sun is not 93 million miles away. It's right here within the Earth system. And we've been brainwashed not to see that at all.
Yeah.
Okay? So real quick, and then I'll let you guys start asking questions. What is the flat Earth? Okay, what is the flat Earth? Right, the flat Earth is not a disc floating in space like they want you to believe. If you Google flat Earth, you end up at the Flat Earth Society. You get a bunch of propaganda videos. You get pictures like this, flat Earth, we're the only disk and the other planets around. Well, that's wrong on every level because we're not a disk. We're not floating in a heliocentric infinite space vacuum universe, which is physically impossible. We're not, you can't fall off the edge of flat Earth. So what is flat Earth? Flat Earth is, the way I describe it is, the Earth system, the Earth plane is the basement of the universe. There's peaks and valleys, there's mountains and trenches. No one's ever gone deeper than just short of 8 miles. And, no one's gone higher than, the highest mountain was at Mount Everest or whatever. And then anything above that, we don't have access to. We don't have access to those heights, and we just have to listen to, the liars that say they're going into space. So what is the flat Earth? We are a puddle. What's a puddle? Water accumulates in the low spot in the land, and the edge of the puddle is where the land is higher than the water, and the water just accumulates there, right? That's what a puddle is. A pond is a bigger puddle. A lake is a bigger pond. Our world oceans are a giant lake. Mm-hmm. It needs a container. Large bodies of water at rest, lay flat, and need a container. That container is Antarctica. They tell us Antarctica is this continent at the bottom of a globe that no one's ever flown over. There's no satellite pictures of it. There's nothing. They tell us this is at the bottom of the globe. It's 13,000 miles around, when in fact, it's not that. And they also say it's the highest land on Earth. Well, it's the container. Antarctica surrounds our world pond. And Antarctica extends out in every direction across the flat Earth plane. It's the highest land on Earth. It's the container for our melted puddle, right? So we have a sun that circles around. It's close and it's small, and it melts out this puddle. It migrates in and out between the tropics, and we have this melted puddle. And this is where we live, and we can get into more and more of how that works, seasons and whatnot. So that's where we live. Every sense you have, every God-given sense you have when you're outside, standing in nature, meditating, whatever, is that you are not moving, okay? That you are stationary, and you are at the center of creation, okay? You are at the center of creation. They want you to believe that you are corkscrewing through space in the middle of a godless or distant God, random beehive universe where we're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. Spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. The slowest motion of the Earth is the rotation of the Earth, okay? 1,000 miles an hour. So when you watch the sunset, and you're sitting out by the ocean or wherever, watching the sunset, you have to believe that you're falling over backwards faster than the speed of sound. And that's why the sun looks like it's going away. Because you're falling over backwards faster than the speed of sound. Right?
Wow.
While that's going on, you're orbiting the Earth. You're spiraling, not the sun, I'm sorry. You're spiraling around the sun at 66,000 miles an hour. Okay? You can't even fathom that speed, but I'm going to show you what that speed looks like. So 66,000 miles an hour is this. Watch this. This is Mach 8.6. It's a hypersonic sled. And if I could have the sound in here, it's really more effective. Did you see it? Watch it again. The orbiting speed that we're going around the sun is 10 times faster than this. 10 times faster. And then that's not even the fastest speed. We are chasing the sun. While we're corkscrewing and spinning around it, we're chasing the sun at 100 times this speed. 100 times faster than this in a curving orbit, speeding up and slowing down, spinning, orbiting. All of that is going on. And then we go into nature, and nature lies to us. Nature says, we're spinning. No, nature says, look, we're still. Okay? Or what's nature saying? If nature's lying, it's like, no, gravity, whatever. This is unexplainable on any object that's moving. Get a dinner plate, fill it with water, and try to walk across the room. Okay? Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. It's like not going to happen. Look at this. Nature doesn't lie. Men lie. Okay? Nature doesn't lie. This is perfectly still. Water is the level of our plane.
Yeah.
Mountains above, valleys below.
Yeah. Wow.
We are at the center
Wow.
we're not moving. So people go, there's thousands of proofs that the earth is a globe and no proofs of the earth being flat. That is inverted. That is satanic. That is the opposite of the truth. There are countless proofs of flat earth, and you only need one. And there are zero proofs of the globe. And anybody that's listening to this, especially your fans that listen to your work ties into the flat earth. Your work is going to become more powerful after understanding where you live. Like astrologers are marking the motions of all of the planets and stuff. And I used to laugh at astrology. Mars, 25 million miles away, retrograde. Who cares? It can't even affect the tide. How is that going to affect me? But then when you realize that Mars is an energetic source here within the Earth system, okay?
Yes.
All of the planets are named after gods, okay? And we only see, NASA shows us, cartoons of what Mars is. But when we zoom in, we see stuff like this, okay? And the lights coming from all of these used to be called wandering stars are here. They're scientifically provable, not reflections off of these planets from the sun. It makes no sense. I mean, I don't know if it's the same for you down there, but Jupiter has been in the sky with the moon for the last couple of weeks, pretty much, or just in our night sky. Brightest star in the sky, right? You have to believe, right? They tell us that Jupiter is this dusty, non-reflective planet, right? And then if you look at what the sun looks like from Jupiter. Now, Jupiter is much farther from Earth than we are. So the sun on Jupiter would be much smaller. Okay. So now you have imagine if you were on Jupiter, you have a smaller sun. That light has to light up Jupiter, reflect off of its gassy, non-reflective surface all the way back to Earth, and we see it brighter than any star. Well, science tells us that's impossible. Okay. Science tells us that is impossible with the inverse square law of light. We don't have to get into the exact numbers of it. So now you realize that these energetic sentient sources are here within the Earth system, and their motions do affect our lives. Everything does, right?
Yes.
And one thing that astrologers don't account for is the movement of the Earth, right? We're corkscrewing through space. What about our movement? We're not moving. That's why they don't account for it. That's why you can be an astrologer on a heliocentric world with that belief, and you'll get a lot of things right. But once you understand that we are on a plane, and they recently NASA has come out and said our solar system is flat. That's because it only works on a flat Earth. You need a flat solar system. We don't have planets above us. These are lights. These are energetic sources, all circling around above the Earth plane.
Wow. The question I have then, which is the most pressing on my mind, is why? Why have we been led to believe that the Earth is oval or round when in fact it is flat? And it makes a lot of sense to me when you say we're like in a puddle. That drops a penny for me.
All of your God-given senses tell you the Earth is still. All of your God-given senses show that it's flat and stationary, right? Only nonsense tells you otherwise. But we've been programmed. I think it was Goebbels that said, the Nazi scientist that said, give me a kid, in his formative years up to age 7 or whatever, and I'll have him believing whatever you want. Well, the kids in school, what do they learn about? They learn about, the orbits of the suns and the moons, and they just learn garbage in school, but it's all programming. One of the first worksheets kids bring home is the orbits of the suns and the moons. I remember when I was like in kindergarten or first grade, whatever it was, that I got that worksheet. I had to figure it out. I had to draw it. I mean, that was imprinted into my brain, because this is the most important lie with all of the nonsense, all of the craziness that's going on in the world. why would they lie? Why would they take the effort? And the other thing is, not as many people know of this as you realize. The people that are the professors, the teachers, the scientists, they're the ones that can memorize and regurgitate the Rockefeller-funded nonsense the best. Okay? So why the lie? Because they don't, the people that run this world are Satanists, if that's the right word. They're evil people that want to keep us as slaves. And if we wake up and realize that we are at the center of creation, that we have the power, that nobody can break our free will unless they trick us, then they lose power. If everyone listening to this podcast tonight woke up tomorrow and goes, you know what? I'm no longer believe in the government's nonsense. I'm going to ignore them. Well, they're dead. They're gone. They don't even, they can't even affect you anymore because we've all disconnected from them. This is a psychic war. A psychic, was it the right word? A psychic. Yeah, this is a psychic war that's going on, and they've convinced us that such a thing is nonsense. That there's no such thing as that. So nobody has power over your mind. The only power anyone has over you is in your imagination. Period. If everyone woke up and said, you know what, governments, we no longer going to listen to them, they'd be silent because we wouldn't be listening to them. So why the lie? They're hiding free energy. They're hiding our true creation. They're hiding our true power. They're hiding our divinity. They're hiding the creator, right? There's a verse in the Bible, and I'm not the Bible guy, and I never lead with the Bible, but the Bible has a lot of truths in it. There's a verse that says, it says, once you see my creation, the earth, then you no longer have any excuse to deny my existence. And scientism that runs this world, they don't want us in that position where we cannot deny the creator. I denied the creator my entire life. And when I found out about flat earth, I was like, oh, frig, there's a creator. Okay. And then your journey on who that creator is, that's your journey, right? That's your own personal journey. And that's the most amazing part of this entire trip. So flat earth is, I just got back from a conference, a flat earth conference in South Carolina here in America. And there was about 400 or 500 flat earthers there. And it was amazing. Every single person awake and aware to the nonsense in the world. Every person, you don't know them, it doesn't matter. They're your best friend. You have more in common with them than any dating site or meeting or anything could ever do, right? So if everyone became a flat earther, it would be over. They'd be finished. Flat earthers are awake. You know, they say flat earthers don't breed. Well, flat earthers might be the only people that are able to breed after this round of nonsense that's going on. You know, flat earthers, wear your tinfoil hat. Well, guess what? With their 5G, I don't want to say that too much, so I don't want to get banned. It might be a good idea to wear a tinfoil hat, okay? Right? And everything they say, they're one of the recent memes, the trolls that follow us, and they're going to follow you into the comments. They're going to be there, my regular trolls. They're probably already here. And they say, you're hired or you got the job. The two things that a flat earther never hears. Well, that's not true anymore because we're getting so big. Flat earthers are hiring other flat earthers. If I'm actually looking to hire somebody to do some work, I will only hire a flat earther. There's companies out there that are only looking for flat earthers because flat earthers, when you're hiring somebody, their ability to do the job, anyone could do the job. It's who they are as a person. Where are they located? How smart are they? What kind of person are they? Well, flat earthers fill that up immediately, and then they can figure out how to do the job. That's easy. Flat earthers are smarter than the average bear.
It's really coming out of the matrix, it's really just another step out of the matrix, isn't it? Sort of the stuff we've been conditioned with and as you say, controlled with, like it doesn't really matter if the earth's flat or round.
The shape doesn't matter. It's the lie that matters. They're hiding free energy.
Yes,
they're hiding
exactly.
They're hiding more land. What if right here, Antarctica could likely be bigger than all of the oceans and all the continents combined, or perhaps it's like this. Antarctica is just a ring, maybe 1,000 miles wide, right? And then beyond it is other lands, extra territory. extra land, right? Maybe this is the Mars system out here, and Mars and Venus are the sun and the moon that are circling out here. Okay. And this is extra terra, more land. So if somebody came to visit us just a few thousand miles away, they'd be considered an extraterrestrial from the outer space.
Wow.
All of our big telescopes, which happen to be owned by the Vatican, okay, are in places like Santiago and in Johannesburg and New Zealand, and they're not looking up; they're all looking out. They're all looking out.
Yes.
Out is
The
south.
planetarium.
Out is south. In is north.
Are you talking about the Wits Planetarium with the telescopes in Joburg?
Yeah.
Johannesburg.
Yeah, they're looking out. They're looking out south. They're looking away from the center, right? And here's a map that was found in it was from like 10th century old Japanese map showing all these other continents out here. This is our known world, and here are other continents. Whether this is real or not, this is a concept that people have been talking about for a long time. And the other thing is the whole idea of, well, the Greeks figured it out 2,000 years ago. And when I hear that, I just say, cool story, bro. Right? Because nobody has any proof of that. Nobody has any proof of that. Right? And the whole Eratosthenes.
I want that sunglasses. I'll tell you what a pair of those, but I want mine in purple, okay?
The whole story with the whole story with Eratosthenes and the sticks and shadows doesn't even work on a globe. It works perfectly on a flat Earth. But they've convinced us. You know the story about Eratosthenes with his sticks and shadows, and he proved the Earth was a globe. Here in America, it's taught in schools. But in reality, you know, they tell us that sun rays, because the sun is 93 million miles away, the sun rays all come in parallel. So Eratosthenes here, his buddy walked 500 miles, counted the paces. And at the same time, he got these angled shadows. So he measured the length of the shadow, and they calculated the size of the Earth with perfectly good math. Okay. And Carl Sagan has in the original Cosmos, and then Neil deGrasse Tyson, the lying actor, he reconfirmed it. And this is, you know, they're like, he got it within 2%. So amazing, right? But in reality, with a small local sun, here's Eratosthenes, here's his buddy. You can do math with the same angles and shadow lengths and prove that this flat surface is a sphere. Okay? Same math. Small local sun, right? And then people assume, you know, how did Eratosthenes assume that light rays come in parallel when no one has ever seen light rays come in parallel? Ever. Yeah. Ever.
Wow.
And whether, you know, global will go, well, that's refraction. I don't care. They're not coming in parallel. I don't care. Wow. This is a local light, right? And as I showed you earlier with that sun video, the sun that we see is very local. It's just above the clouds. And well, I've flown higher than that. Well, as you go up, it goes up, right? Imagine the three of us are standing outside. We're 20 feet apart, and the sun is setting behind us, and we're looking at a giant mirror in front of us. And we get a fourth person to walk up to the mirror, and I go, I see the sun right there, and they get a Sharpie, and they circle around the sun. I'm like, yep, the sun is right in that circle. They walk over to you. They're going to draw a circle 20 feet away from me, or however distant you are. You're going to see it in a different position, and you're going to see it in a third position, okay? I believe that the sun that we see is a projection or reflection of the real sun, which is higher, which is within or above the firmament. Okay, so I had a little.
I want to just interrupt here. So what you're saying is basically, let's say we know about that much of what's going on, and what you're saying is there's actually, rumor has it, so to speak, that there's a whole lot more land, more energy, more resources, still in, let's say, a second.
Why would they lie? Why would they lie? Right? Supposedly,
Yes.
Admiral
Okay.
Byrd in the 1950s flew out over Antarctica, came back and said, "There's more land bigger than the United States, filled with resources
Yes.
than no
Okay.
human has ever stepped foot upon." Now,
So then,
whether that's
so
a
then
true
I
story,
would
go ahead.
sorry. So then I would assume that the nefarious ones obviously have knowledge of this land and energy and resources, if you will, that is circling around us. So that's kind of what they're trying to keep for themselves, for whatever their reasons are.
Well,
so do you think then that all these when we're looking, and as you're speaking, I have so much, it's like there's a million puzzle pieces in my head. So forgive me if I jump around at the moment.
That's
there's
all right.
just so much, and I'm going to grab you. I'm thinking, what about gravity? What about the ship? Or, when you see a ship going over, but there's
all
a
right,
lot.
two questions. Let's go there. So first,
Okay.
Bill Nye, the lying guy with the bow tie, is 100% correct when he says a boat going over a ball will disappear from the bottom up. That is true. Unfortunately, we don't live on a ball. There's more than one explanation for why boats would disappear from the bottom up. And it has to do with angular resolution. For one, you don't see a boat out here, but as I zoom in, making the angular resolution bigger, all of a sudden you can see there is a boat. It's right there, but my eye couldn't see it. Now I'm going to zoom all the way in on this boat, and you're going to see the whole side of the boat. And as I zoom out, the boat is going to disappear from the bottom up. First, you're going to see half the boat is gone, and then
the top,
and then it disappears. And people say, "Well, it went over the curve." But if I zoomed in, it would be there. And here's the other thing: according to globe math, and the people that defend the globe don't even know the globe math. They don't know what size the globe is. We have a guy traveling the country for 11 months now, and he speaks out with in the public squares, and he offers anybody $100 to answer three simple questions. And the first one is about the globe. How many times does the Earth spin in one day? Easy question, right? Most people get that wrong. Then he asks, what's the circumference? And nobody knows. It's 24,901 miles around. Well, the globe math, that says if the Earth is that size, a 6-foot tall person standing at the edge of the water, edge of a calm ocean, should have a physical horizon no farther than 3 miles. Okay? That's because it would be something at 3 miles, there would be 6 feet of drop, and anything would start, the surface of the water would go beyond that. Well, that's not what happens. And, if the weather conditions are foggy or whatever, that horizon might move closer. If it was really foggy, it might be 3 feet in front of you as far as you can see. Okay?
Yeah.
But you can go to the water without even a super zoom camera, and you can see buoys and things that are way, way out there. Do the calculation, use the curve calculator, and you'll realize, wow, that should be 200 feet below the curve. That should be, you're seeing things that should be well, well below the curve. And another thing is, right here, you don't see this little disc, but as I zoom in, this little mirage on the table hides this, okay? So as I zoom out, it disappears due to angular resolution. So think about this. We have you got to find a big flat floor. Here we have Home Depots, and they have these cement floors that are beautifully, flat and super long aisles. You get your iPhone, and you put it down on the floor so the camera is down the low part, and you put a brick right in front of it, okay? And then you drag that brick away, and the brick is going to get smaller and smaller due to perspective, right? Things get smaller in the distance. There'll come a point where you can no longer see that brick. It'll be gone. You lift the camera up. Oh, there's the brick. You bring it down. The brick disappears. Now, what happens if I stack 3 more bricks on top of this? Camera's down, bricks away, bottom brick I can't see. I can see the second, third, and fourth brick. It's disappearing from the bottom up due to angular resolution. Now you add in atmosphere. You add what I call the wave front edge. The wave front edge is this. When you look into the distance, there's waves, right? But the waves that are closer to you are bigger. Like right now, my finger can't hide. I want to hide from my nose to my chin. My finger can't do it. But if my finger, the wave, was closer to the camera, oh, look, it can hide the bottom half of my face, right? So these waves out here look like a horizon, but this is rough water out here. Look at this boat right here. The back of the boat is underwater. It's not really underwater. It's just we have a false front horizon. I call this the wave front edge, but this is the wave front edge horizon. If this boat was farther than this little wave right here, you wouldn't see, most of the boat would be gone, right? Because it would be blocked by the wave front edge. Everything merges into to your eye level in the distance, whether it's the top of Mount Everest or a fence or a row of trees. It doesn't matter. Let me show you an example which might really help you. So this is my flat earth kitchen. My kitchen counter is right here. This line is level. You can see that it's level, and I'm moving the sun along the line, and we're viewing it from a celestial point of view, up above everything. Okay, this could be mountains, city line, could be just opaque clouds. It's opaque, and the sun never goes below it. Now I have a camera on the flat earth counter at the beginning where I started looking this way, and it's looking at it from the counter. And what it looks like is that this line is going down.
Yes.
And it looks like the sun is going below this opaque barrier. And this opaque barrier looks like it's at my eye level, but it's not. Okay. Now watch, I'm going to compare it to, now look, zooming in, look at this line. If I showed you this first and said, is this a level line? You'd say, no, it's almost going straight down, but it is a level line. It's how our eyes work. Now I'm going to compare it to an actual sunset. Look at this, actual sunset, right? But look, it's not going behind this line, going behind that line. That line is either a mountain ridge or what I call the atmospheric deck of opacity. When you're looking across the mountain, across the air, it's thickest at the bottom and it just becomes opaque. Oops, I just pulled out my headphones. It gets thickest there and it becomes opaque and it hides. It hides.
What did you call that like horizon?
It is exactly what I'm saying. The atmospheric deck of opacity. Right? When you look up, when you have cumulus clouds spread out in the sky, they're sitting on a deck, right? And if you look at the one above you, it's up there. You're looking straight up. Okay, you got to strain your neck to see it. But if you look at one 20 miles away, it's actually touching the water, right? Wow. You can't see, this is the water and this is the clouds 20, 30 miles away. They're touching. You zoom in with the camera, you can increase that size and then you can see farther. Then you go out farther and they're touching again. Okay. So all of those clouds, now you can see blue sky up here because the clouds are spread out, but as they all come together, they all kind of merge and just become cloud, but you can't see between them because of perspective, and it just becomes opaque. The atmospheric deck of opacity is right here. Even on a clear day, you can't see that. Here's the sun. This is called the sun fade out. This one's going to blow your mind. I have my drone up, below freezing, super clear day, and I watch the sun. In 5 minutes time, it went from up here, it went down, down, down. Now, if the earth was spinning, it would just keep on going, but it didn't. It went down, 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 and then it stopped. And it sat here for 10 minutes, okay? And instead of dropping down, it's just going away. And it went into the thickness of the soup. And it just couldn't push its light through anymore because it's too far away. The air is too thick. It's like looking through a pane of glass and then looking through 100 panes of glass. You can't see through 100 panes of glass, right? The atmosphere is the same way. It accumulates. Here's a super clear day in Afghanistan. The sun kind of went down, 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 and it kind of stopped, and then it just went away, sped up again. And it kind of just fades away. Right? That's not going down. What do your senses tell you? It's going away.
It's further away.
It's going away. It's going away until it kind of gets cut off by those trees there. And here, this is in Bolivia, okay? And again, super clear day, probably cold, no humidity in the air, no clouds. And this light is just moving away. And it looks like it's going down, just like you look at a street light above you and a street light down the road. The one down the road merges with the horizon after, not even a mile.
Look at that. It's amazing.
Yeah, but people go, I've watched the sunset a million times and I've never seen that. That's because you're watching it over water. You're watching it in atmospheric conditions that will give you a opaque horizon. Might be at 10,000 feet, but it looks like it's at eye level, right?
But it's from a mind control, and it's from a mind controlled perspective, right?
Yeah,
So you
10,000
don't even
feet.
think about it.
10,000 feet, and the sun goes away. It looks like it's going down, but it's not. It's just going away. This is at 10,000 feet, but it looks like it's at eye level. Right?
You know what I love about being a grandma? We're never too old to learn. That's what's so cool about being a grandma. I'm loving this. It's very cool. It makes a lot of sense what you're saying, Dave. I mean, it's like little lights are going on. There's just so many things. And right now, I have no clear, it's all coming to me, put it that way. But I would love to understand as well, gravity, how does that even come into this right now? Because, we've also been taught certain things. So how does that affect what we've been taught? I mean, has everything we've been taught, we understand gravity exists. I take my pen and I drop it, it falls, right?
No, you've been programmed to say that. You've been programmed to say that. Gravity, Neil deGrasse Tyson said in an interview not that long ago, they said, what's gravity? And he goes, what is gravity? We don't know. He goes, but it's a mysterious force. This is how bad gravity is. If let's say you needed to, I'm trying to think of an analogy, it's gonna be really stupid, but you need to get up into a 3rd-story window. You got to climb up into a window and it's 30 feet high. And I go, no problem. I've got a 3-foot rope. I'll hold it out the window and you can climb up, but we'll pretend that there's another 27 feet of rope so you can climb up. Well, gravity needs 96% dark matter to work. Dark matter and dark energy. Never been seen, never been measured, but it has to be there. Otherwise, gravity isn't real. Right? So my 27 feet of rope is actually there. Otherwise, my rope isn't going to work. But as you can see, it doesn't work. So what is gravity? Neil deGrasse Tyson dropped his microphone and everybody thinks that's gravity. It's buoyancy and density. If I had a handful of rocks, ping pong balls, and a helium balloon, and I held them over a pool and I opened my hand, what's going to happen? The balloon's going to go up because of gravity? No. The rocks and the ping pong balls are going to fall down through the air because they're less dense. The ping pong balls are going to sit on top of the water because they're less dense, and the rocks are going to go to the bottom of the pool because they're more dense. Okay? So buoyancy and density sort everything else out. Down is down. But why do things go down? How do they know down isn't that way? Down isn't that way, right? For us, I could be pointing forward. That could be your backwards. I could be pointing left. That could be your right. That's all relative. But if we all point up, both of you, point up. Up is the same. Down is the same. Down is down. Up is up. Okay? So what makes things go down? Well, we live in this giant free energy system, which they don't want you to know about because then they can't control you with free energy, monopoly money, food, and a lie. The lie constricts your thoughts, constricts your imagination, constricts your ability to manifest your world, right? Because you're spinning out of control, lost in space. So remember that the diagram I showed you, the video of we're corkscrewing through space? Go outside, sit in the nature, and meditate on all of those motions, right? Remember the hypersonic sled. Remember that. You'll probably fall over. You probably have to put your hands on the ground, okay? Meditate on that, how that feels. Then shake that off, and then realize that you're at the foundation of the world. It never moves. The foundation of the universe. And all of the luminaries in the sky are organized and circling above you like a giant clock. You're going to feel a lot better. Your spirit's going to lift. You're going to start seeing things that you didn't see before. You're going to start noticing things. You're going to start taking back your power, right? We're grounded to this world. This world is alive. Everything in this world was alive or is still alive in some sense, right? So what is gravity? We live in this electrical system where the ground has a negative charge. The moon and the sun are the cathode and anode of the system. The salt water carries the current. The land is a salt bridge. It's a giant battery. It's a free energy system, right? So the earth doesn't move. It has a negative charge. The sky has a positive charge, and the energy flows down like a current into the earth. So there's this flow of energy, and that says, hey, down is this way. Down is this way. That's all you need. And it's a weak force, just like they say gravity is a weak force. Okay. And then buoyancy and density sort everything else out from there. Gravity is nonsense, right? If you believe in gravity, you believe that boats are upside down, trillions and trillions of tons of water, are on the underside of a spinning, corkscrewing planet, that is in a space vacuum, right? None of that makes any sense. I mean, a space vacuum. How do you have stars, gassy stars, in a vacuum, right? How do you have oceans upside down and people sticking to them, but birds can fly? How do you have anything? None of it makes sense. But they need gravity for their evolution model. They need gravity for their big bang. Once upon a time, you were nothing, right? Once upon a time, there was nothing. A big bang happened. All the rocks turned into balls, and all the gases decided to make their own balls and leave a vacuum in between. And then lightning struck, created an amoeba with incredible DNA, and that DNA kept mutating, getting smarter and smarter. That doesn't happen. And we evolved from fish to rats to monkeys to humans. This is ridiculous, okay? This is nonsense. Our genome is created. It is written. It is written. Where's that? Where do they say it is written? Okay, right? This is they don't want you to know your divinity. Here's the reason. Here's another why. We are just having an experience here in this plane, in these meat suits, but the currency is not money, it's souls, okay? And they want to steal your soul. They want to steal your soul every way possible. They use the television programming. They use fear, nuclear bombs, by the way, which don't exist. They want you to believe that we're overpopulated. Everyone in the world could live in Texas, okay? Texas, a little part of the United States, right? They want you to believe that we're running out of fuel. False. They want you to believe we're running out of water. There's infinite water, okay? They want you to believe that you are insignificant in a godless universe spinning out of control, when in fact we're at the center of creation. Yeah. Right? So why would they lie? To limit our potential, to not let us know, with the nonsense that's going on in the world right now, the only way they can get away with it is because people are lost. People don't know who they are. And you mentioned, I think you mentioned the Matrix at the beginning. Neo, at the beginning of the movie, The Matrix, he was depressed. Something's wrong with the world. He's plugged into the Matrix. He was sleeping a lot, couldn't figure it out. And then look at the Neo at the end of the movie when he was completely unplugged from the Matrix. He saw the world. It didn't matter what the world was. He took back his power. Put those two together. That's where we're at right now. The zombies are Neo at the beginning, and the flat earthers are Neo at the end.
Absolutely. It makes a lot of sense what you're saying. It really, really does. How do you feel then about the hollow earth theory, that there is life that lives in the center of the earth? What is your take on that?
So the hollow earth theory is another trap for your mind. Now, but hold on, don't discount it all the way, because there is something to it. So the hollow earth theory is a ball, again, trapped. We're either in a ball, on the outside of a ball. Hollow earth makes more sense than the heliocentric model. At least we're contained and we have an atmosphere. But the earth, I believe that there is life below us and life above us. I believe that there's different layers. Mm-hmm. Check out Santos Bonacci, his Syncretism Academy. Santos has been talking about this for decades, and where there's a heavenly realm above us and a more dense realm below us. Have you guys looked into the mud floods and Tartaria? Probably not.
No.
Yeah. So in the 1800s, there was a far advanced civilization here worldwide, building pyramids and all sorts of stuff. Look at Machu Picchu, and look at Angkor Wat. Have you looked at that? Look, you know, it's more incredible in the pyramids. They don't talk about that. Look at Göbekli Tepe, right? All of this stuff. There was an advanced civilization. Everybody believes that we are at the peak of a civilization, at the height of intelligence, when in fact we're in the middle of the movie Idiocracy, right? Approaching the end, actually. Okay, so once you look into these things and you realize our history is a lie, our governments are lying to us. It's all a lie. Everything they tell us, everything. You know, people say, Dave, you believe everything's a conspiracy? And I used to say no, but now I say yes, because there's very little that's not a conspiracy. You know, I used to believe, I used to believe Sully landed the plane on the Hudson River. I don't know if you guys heard about that. It was fake. It's all fake. It's all to control our minds. Let me share my screen with you. I'm going to show you my app and how it will help people learn about flat Earth. If you're listening to this for the first time and you think I'm crazy, I'm offering 3 Bitcoins. You guys know what Bitcoin is, right? For 1 proof of the globe. For 1 proof, 3 Bitcoins. Okay. So I have an app. It's called the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. It costs $3. Oh my God, you're selling apps, right? It costs $3. All right. You're buying me not even a whole beer here in America. All right. And let me just move this. There we go. So the sky is a perfect clock. The sun measures the hours and the days. The moon measures the weeks and the months. If I speed it up, you'll see that the sun is getting closer to the moon and the moon is getting smaller. The moon will disappear for a couple days and then it'll come out the other side. The sun will lap the moon once every 28 days. That gives us our phases and position of the moon. So the moon keeps track of the weeks and the moons. Used to be called moons. Funny.
Yeah, wow.
I believe there was there was like 13 moons of 28 days. I'm not the our whole calendar has been hijacked from us, right? So I'm going to slow it down. I'm going to turn on the stars, and the stars are going just slightly faster than the sun. Slightly, so slightly that the stars will lap the sun once every 365 days. Wow. So right now we're in this constellation, and the next month this one will be there, and the following month this one will be there, and it'll work its way outrunning the sun. Okay, so the sun, excuse me, the stars keep track of the seasons and the years. So how do seasons work? So right now you're in Johannesburg, right? Is that where you are?
Cape Town, yeah.
Cape Town, perfect. I was on a Cape Town radio station, and I'll show you something funny in a minute on the app. So your summer's coming, my winter's coming. Why is that? Right? Imagine we're both outside in the middle of a freezing cold winter, and we're 20 feet apart, and somebody's holding a big heat lamp directly over your head, 10 feet over your head. You can feel that warmth. It's close to you. Then I look at it, and it's lower. It's farther away, and it's lower in the sky due to perspective. Then they move it over, keeping it at 10 feet, and now it's over me. It just got higher, closer. I have my summer. You have your winter. That's how it works. So take a look at this. So I'll jump forward to December, which is the height of your, I'm in January, that's fine. The height of your summer, right? The sun goes over Australia. They're having their summer. It's as close as it's going to get to you when it comes around. You have your summer. With me?
Yeah.
Everybody in the inner north, the inner yellow circle is the Tropic of Cancer. The outer yellow circle is the Tropic of Capricorn, is having their winter. So the sun comes around. You're down here. Sun's high in the sky. It's like that street lamp that's over you versus the one that's far away. So I'm going to move it to June. In June, it moves over the Tropic of Cancer. You're having your winter because the sun is farther away from you. Over here in southern United States, in Florida and in Mexico and California, it's hot, super hot, because the sun is directly over them. It's close to them, right? And so everything inside of this yellow circle is the Arctic region, right? Because the Arctic is here. The Antarctic is on the outside. So everything outside this yellow line, Tropic of Capricorn, is the Arctic region. Now listen to those words. Words have meaning. If I'm here in the Arctic region, what's the sun doing? Speed it up. It's arcing around me, right? It's arcing around me. But if I'm out here, you're in the Antarctic region, anywhere outside this yellow line, it's not arcing around you. It's coming towards you and then going away. It's antarcing. Antarctic, Arctic.
Wow.
So
crazy. Wow.
Yeah. So what does this app do? This app, one, shows you how it works. Two, every day there's a featured video over here. You tap the thumbnail, up comes the featured video of the day. And I tell people, if you want to win the 3 Bitcoins, just watch the video every day for 2 weeks. And at the end of that 2 weeks, if you think the earth is a globe, send me a proof. Send me your one proof, just one. Don't need 50. And you win 3 Bitcoins. But before you do, you have to hit this question mark. You hit that question mark, and up come, first time I just loaded this, all of the questions. Hey, what about eclipses? What about seasons? Hey, what about ships over the horizon? If I click ships over the horizon, up comes a playlist. Up comes a playlist of videos that YouTube is hiding from you. You won't find these. You can search for them by name and by channel, and they won't come up on the top of the list. You search Flat Earth, you get Flat Earth Society, you get Professor Dave, who's just a snarky actor. You get Byman Dan, who's just another snarky page shill. You get all of these propaganda videos, okay? And so all of your questions are answered here, right? If you hit the web button, you end up here. All sorts of resources here, but the one I want you to see, the middle column to the right, mud floods Tartaria, right? This is showing the evidence, not the theory, the evidence of an advanced civilization all over our realm, right? The transcontinental railroads were excavated. They weren't built. They were here before we got here, okay? So all sorts of resources, tons of stuff. Top right, Lost History of Flat Earth. I challenge anybody to watch the first video there and survive being a glober, because it's a game killer, right? Our interview will be here. It'll be the top video in here when this comes out. Okay. Tons of stuff. Books, Iron Republic, the 16 emergency landings. This is one of my favorites. 16 emergency landings that prove flat Earth. Remind me when we get out of the app to show you some plane routes. Plane routes prove the Earth is flat. Okay. All sorts of stuff, cool flat Earth stuff, merchandise and stuff that people like. I don't make any money on that. This is just awesome. More resources, essentially. But more importantly, the most important thing is the handshake button. I hit that, and up comes, this is all of the flat earthers that are near me. And I can message them. I could tap on a dot, and I could send that person a message, right? And you can connect. You can connect to people. So let's go over to Africa. Let me move over. Where's Africa? Here's Africa. And I go down. Am I in Africa? Yeah. I go down. This is Johannesburg. Am I in the right place? Hold on. Let me try it.
Cape Town.
Cape Town. Let me see if Cape Town comes up. That's Cape Verde. Hold on. I can just do it. Close. Where am I?
I think you're on top of Africa.
I'm on top of Africa, so I got to go down farther. No. Here we go. Here we go. This is it. Right? This is Africa.
There's no movie. Yeah, this is South Africa.
So here, there's a few flat earthers down here, right? Tap on one of them. I could send them a message, right? People are like if one of these guys here said, hey, set my radius to 50 kilometers, and then it will tell them how many other flat earthers are within 50 kilometers of their location. You can hit that button on the top left. I have 206 people within 50 kilometers. I can send them all a message like, hey, we're having a flat earth meetup. Come on, let's talk truth. Let's fight tyranny. Let's all get together. And you could send them all a message. Okay. Pretty cool, right?
Wow, that is super cool. Really.
Yeah. And for those of you worried about, oh, they're tracking you. Well, right now you see I have the circle around. This is called my approximate location. So it has me somewhere within 5 miles of where I actually am. I could change it to my exact location and it'll move me to a pinpoint location, or I can just hit the off button and turn it off. So anyone that's worried about other flat earthers finding you, you're worried about the wrong thing. You're already being tracked. Okay. You're already being tracked. They don't need my app to track you.
Exactly.
And so
I
this
love this.
yeah.
This is so cool. This
And
is
then
super
it shows
cool,
you
really.
here's time zones, right? So wherever the sun is, it's noon. It's noon for me, right? Well, it's just past noon for me right now. Okay. But in South Africa, what's it, like 7 p.m. there? Or 7 p.m.
7:30 or something. Yeah.
Yeah, right there. Bam. There it is. So it shows you what time it is around the world. Time zones only make sense on a flat earth. Okay?
Oh, thank goodness. Now it will make sense. I'll use this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just so many little pennies dropping. I feel like a kid in her first grade 1 class today. It's like I'm sitting first in the right in front of the classroom.
Right.
On my first lesson. It's wonderful.
So let me just give you one last thing on the app, and then we're going to talk about flight routes. The app is $3, one-time charge. There is a subscription that you do not need to subscribe. It's $11 for the year. I say it's a margarita with a crappy tip, or 99 cents a month. The only reason to get the subscription is if you want to message other flat earthers. You can get the map. People can message you, but you can't respond unless you have the subscription. It's $11 a year. If anyone's complaining about that, I don't think you should spend the $3 on the app. All right.
No, I think that is a wonderful app. I really do. I would actually like to get that. So do you leave the link for us in the description? Can you give us all of your links and stuff and we can put it in there? Is that possible?
You're going to get an automated email from me, and that's going to be the top link that has it when we're done with this interview. You'll have it. And it's the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. If you just point your camera, anyone watching this on a computer, just point your camera at the QR code and up comes the app for Android and Apple, and soon to be on Amazon for those of you that don't want to use Google on your Android phones. So it's the most useful tool. If you're unsure about the app, just go to the App Store and read the reviews. It's the highest rated app in the store. Okay. A couple people have little problems with their phones. We had a couple bugs and they left me a 3-star rating instead of a 5-star rating. So be it, but it's still the highest rated app. Right.
Awesome.
Yeah. So check that out. All right. So let's just talk about flight routes, right? Flight routes make no sense on a globe Earth. Blue line's the equator. And we're going from Santiago to Johannesburg. Look at that, right? And it stops in Seattle, right? Does that say Seattle? I can't say. Santiago. No. What does that say? What does that say? Right? It's blocked on my computer.
Simone, I can't see that.
Well, it's not.
Senegal. Maybe.
Senegal. Sorry. I saw. Yeah. So on a globe, it goes all the way up here and then all the way down, right? Why didn't they just cut across the bottom of the globe? Because this is the real route. It's a straight line. Senegal. Sorry, not Seattle. It's a straight line. Now just keep in mind, southern location to southern location, it crossed the equator twice. Think about that. The top half of the globe is the north. The bottom half of the globe is the south. Why would it cross the equator twice? Go to the next one. This is goes all the way up to Amsterdam and then all the way back down to Johannesburg. Crosses the equator twice. All right. This is the route on a flat Earth. All right. Here's another one. Auckland to Mexico City. It stops in Los Angeles. It's about the same distance on a globe here. Why would it stop here? There's plenty of people to fill an airplane that want to go to Mexico City. But if you look at it on a flat Earth map, we have to cross the equator. It's a straight line. Okay. Wow. Again, this is another one, right? From Perth to Johannesburg again. Perth to, what did it say? Johannesburg. Can't see it. Oh, no, wait. I can't. You know what? I can't see it. I've lost my eyesight today. Whatever. But here it goes. It goes all the way up and all the way down. Look at it on a flat Earth. Bam. Straight line. Crosses the equator twice. Never, ever, if you're going from any location in the north to any other location in the north, does the plane ever cross the equator? Never. Straight line from any 2 points within the circle will remain in the circle. Straight line, fairly straight line from any points outside, far points, you end up crossing. Never does a northern flight cut into the south and then go back up to the north.
Wow. This is amazing. And it's, it's makes such perfect sense what you're showing me. And I'm certainly going to be listening to this interview a few hundred times over, because I think a lot of what you're going to be saying will take, for me anyway, just a little bit of picking. And it's like, as I said, it's like everything has been
Auckland and Lima, Peru goes all the way up to Los Angeles. Look at it. Auckland, Los Angeles, Lima, Peru. Right? You know what else does is there's some emergency landings. Again, same thing. There's been some emergency landings that don't make any sense on a globe, and they make perfect sense on a flat Earth. But I don't know if I have them handy. Oh, here we go. Nope. Oh, here it is. So here's a flight from Taiwan to California, to Los Angeles. Right about here, it had an emergency. Somebody was sick, having a baby, whatever it was. They could have landed in Hawaii. They could have gone here, Los Angeles, but instead they went all the way up to Alaska. Okay. Why did they go to Alaska? Why did they divert? Or did they not divert at all? Taiwan, emergency, Alaska. Next closest spot. Hawaii is all the way out here.
Wow.
Okay.
Fascinating.
Isn't it?
Yes. Well, my question is, like, all the pilots.
Good question.
How many of them actually know the truth? Or are they just following the computers that tell them where to fly and they believe the computers? Or...
You nailed it. So pilot takes the plane off. Then he gets up to altitude and the control says, go to 790, and he turns it down to 790 and he pushes the button. Then he plays cards, reads a book, read whatever. He's not flying. Okay. They look out, they see the horizon from side to side, right? They know, and they don't think about it. Then they just don't think about it. However, there are many pilots that know. We interviewed one on the show Globebusters, and she worked for KLM, and she was grounded the next day and fired. Okay. We talked to Qantas pilots. They say they openly talk about it amongst themselves in their lounge, but they don't talk about it out loud because they don't want to lose their jobs. If you mention the Earth is flat, you're grounded, right? Here's the book, 16 Emergency Landings. It's free online as a PDF, or you can get the coffee table book. I love the coffee table book because when someone picks it up, they're like, oh, I went over Chantel's house for dinner and now I'm a flat earther, right? Right? You pick up the book, you're a flat earther. It's over. You touch it, you become a flat earther, and you lose your friends, your family, you're ostracized. It's horrible. But then it's the greatest thing ever.
What's new? What's new? That's happening already.
Exactly. What's new? Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to help ostracize your friends, I highly recommend the book.
I'm totally buying it. Okay, where do we get that book, by the way? Is this now? I know I said it's in your app.
It's in my app. Just hit you hit the books button, and then it's right there. It's the first book. All right, you can scroll down. There's all sorts of other books, and it's printed on demand by Lulu. I think they have shipping in South Africa, but you can check it out. I'm sure you can find it.
Okay. Yeah. Also, okay. So then you just basically go there. It gives you the link, and you can.
It gives you the link. It takes you right to Amazon or whatever
Perfect.
Service, whatever. Yeah, whatever. And then you can find it. Amazing stuff. And then you guys haven't asked about, like, what about photographs of the Earth? Well, they're all made in Photoshop.
I was going to ask you about the fake photos because there's a lot of, there's just so much. We're definitely going to have you on again, Dave, for sure. But, something else I wanted to actually ask you about was definitely photographs. Because from what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing, when they've taken pictures from outer space, the Earth is round. But there again, how true is that? And another thing is then, does this affect the moon and the tides? How does that work? Is the moon and the tides still, what's happening with that then? How does that affect the oceans and the tides? So many questions.
So the moon doesn't affect the tides, right? If you're on the, and again, it's really hard. The visuals really help. In the app, what about tides under the question mark? There's a bunch of videos there. There's huge tides in the north, small tides in the south. And on the equator, there's like almost no tides. That makes no sense on a ball Earth. Now, we could have, people say, well, there's a full moon, there's a big high tide. Well, what about when there's a new moon? The moon's still there in the heliocentric model. It's just not illuminated by the sun. So the gravity should be the same.
Yes.
But it's not. It's not the gravity of the moon. The whole gravitational model is to make you believe in evolution, make you believe you're a cosmic accident, make you believe that you're not created, make you believe that you are powerless. Because here's the great news about this world is the elite who know, the occult that knows what's going on, that are controlling us, they know that we have free will and they know that they can't break it. So they have to tell us everything. But if we're too stupid to see, then that's how they get away with it, because then we're agreeing. If they tell us and we don't say no, we're saying yes. It's how it works. All of this stuff is put out there. Go ahead.
Do you, when we're talking, maybe just a little bit slightly off topic, but maybe not really. When we talk about literally we are experiments, that we have been experimented on by these, whoever, our DNA literally has been disconnected. So we have literally 12 strands of DNA. We pretty much born with 2 active ones, and the rest are kind of being termed junk DNA.
Have you ever seen DNA?
Not a live DNA, no.
I don't think anybody has. What? I don't think anybody has.
What are you talking about?
I think our DNA is way more complex than they're telling us. Yeah.
I'm sure it is.
On the app, hit the web button and hit the Lost History of Flat Earth. Hit that. There's a new video that's on the top of the list, and then the second video is 5 hours long. When that was sent to me, I'm like, I'm not watching a 5-hour video. I'm too busy, right? And then someone else sent it to me, and someone else sent it to me. And I'm like, my videos on my channel are all under 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I make a 5-minute video. They're like, oh, what are you making documentaries now? So one night at 11 p.m., I was doing some stuff, and I was like, all right, I need something to listen to while I do it. And I was like, let me just see this video that people are talking about. 11 p.m., I turn it on. 4 a.m., I just finished up the movie, and I'm like, holy crap. And I had to watch it again, okay? I watched it again. I watched it 3 times, and I'm going to watch it a 4th time. So I don't recommend that you dive into that one, but if you do, good luck, all right?
What's it called? Which one is that?
It's called The Lost History of
the Earth, yeah.
Lost History of Flat Earth in the app under the web button, okay? And it'll blow you away. It'll literally melt your brain in a good way.
I love my brain being melted in a good way. It's so yummy. It's that lovely warm feeling where everything just kind of resettles, isn't it?
Have you ever had a molten lava cake, with the molten chocolate in the middle? That's your brain after watching The Lost History of Flat Earth.
I love the idea. I have that the idea of that. It's 5 hours, but I have it on save, so thank you. I'll definitely have to go check that. And I'll post the link as well for the people tonight as well.
Yeah.
And one quick thing. We didn't get into NASA, but if you catch NASA lying once, they're lying about everything. Here's NASA on the space station with a lemon, and they screwed up, and it's not really there. Watch their hand. It goes right through the lemon. They're faking stuff with what's called augmented reality. Okay?
Yeah. Look at that.
It's not really there. And they do this all the time. They get caught all the time. Here's Chris Hadfield and they look, he's upside down, playing the guitar. He's in one room. This guy's in another room, green screen, and he's holding the microphone, and he sticks it right into Chris's neck. Watch. It's inside of his neck, right? Because they just screwed up. They screwed up. And there's so many mistakes that they do. You know, here's one. This ball is real. It's filled with helium. This stuffed animal, that stuffed animal, is not real. Okay? She's manipulating it. She either has a screen behind the camera or she has contact lenses on. And it's called augmented reality. And she's manipulating stuff and showing it to us. And these things, they have screw-ups all the time. All the time.
Wow.
Right? And then you're like, well, what about, you know, they're floating in space, you know? You know how much money NASA gets a day? $63 million a day. $63 million a day. Right? Right? $63 million a day to do this. Oops. Hold on. There you go. I meant that. Sorry. Right? $63 million a day to do this. All right?
How's space out there, bro? Easy phone.
Can you tell me how to use the bathroom? Because I'm afraid. You know, because you know they've been feeding us pizza and tacos up here, and the gravity, my acids in my stomach, I'm not feeling really well, if you know what I mean, and I'm afraid to use the bathroom. Could you please explain to me how it's going to work and how it's going to be clean when I'm done with it, and how the whole space station isn't going to smell? All right.
I don't want to think about that. But it's true.
$63 million a day.
$63 million a day. By the way, the app has a countdown timer to like your next special event. You know, whether it's a interview with me, a vacation or whatever, and it does a countdown. And when the alarm goes off, it calculates how much money NASA spent during your entire countdown.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good to see you right where I'm again, Mr.
I know, that was getting a little crazy. I was getting a little dizzy.
I got dizzy for you.
Yeah.
That is so funny. That is excellent. I love it.
Yeah.
But Dave, I've so enjoyed this.
All right.
And I know we're kind of out of time, but I'm definitely going to invite you back again in the near future if you're happy to be sitting and talking with us little lay people when it comes to flat Earth. But I'm loving this. We're definitely going to get your app, and I'm going to play, and I'm going to look at stuff, and I'm going to educate myself a little bit more, and then have some more intelligent questions to ask you the next time, as opposed to from a more beginner version. Not that that's unintelligent.
Let me tell you what's going to happen. You're going to have me back on, and then you're going to school me on flat Earth. You're going to go, and this, and this, and this, and this. Yeah. And how did I ever believe this? How did I believe this my whole life? How come I didn't figure this out? I feel so stupid. But, you know, we all go through it, right? We all go through it. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. And here's the thing. If you're a flat earther out there, you need to start talking to other people about it. You absolutely need to start talking, because if we all started doing this, flat Earth is the solution to free ourselves. Because even if we get a reprieve, if we push back, they'll give us a reprieve. How long can we hold on to our freedom if we don't know where we are, if we're spinning out of control, lost in space, right? They're controlling our mind with cartoons, okay? And people just believe. People believe the nonsense.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, the psychological warfare has been strong. I have one last question for you, though, which I would like just your opinion on again.
Cartoon virus, exactly.
Yeah, they're controlling our mind. It's all cartoons.
Yeah, exactly. No, I fully agree with that. with so much, I mean, if you say you've obviously been looking at our stuff as well, we're all about exposing the underbelly and what is going on. And I think there are so many. I was just saying to our Australia, because we do a focus on Australia as well, the girl that Gabby, who we deal with Australia, just saying, the time is really here now where the average person is not going to be able to block their nose from the smell of poop anymore. That's literally coming up in front of our faces. So people are going to be forced to wake up. And I think to something like the flat earth theory as well, I love this. I mean, it makes so much sense to me. I'm definitely going to go and look into it more. But from your perspective, where to from here? Because it's inevitable that people are going to start waking up. I'm not saying now in the next year or two or even 5 years, but maybe in the next 10 years, 15 years, our education system is going to have to embrace.
It's going to all get destroyed. When Flat Earth comes out, yes, all education shuts down, all churches, religions shut down. We're going to have to rebuild it, but it will rebuild. Yes. Truth will set you free, right?
Yeah.
What does your kid learn in school? They learn garbage. They learn baloney. Let's say bullshit, because I'm going to say it. Bullshit math. Okay. They learn geometry and algebra and calculus. They learn stuff that they're never going to use. They don't learn sacred geometry. They don't learn vortex mathematics. They don't learn about free energy. They don't learn about gardening. How about gardening? They don't even know where food comes from. They think there's a food shortage. You can take a seed that your grandmother put in a jar 50 years ago, stick it in the ground, water will fall from the sky and food will grow out. Okay. There is no food shortage. There's just an intelligence shortage. Okay. Yeah. People are lost. People are reliant on the system, and they're not, some of them, as they say in the Matrix, some people are not ready to unplug, because guess what? It takes effort to not order something from Amazon and have it show up the next day, right? You got to go find it. You got to source it yourself, whatever. It takes effort to think about things, right? Yeah. Belief, as Crow 777 Radio says, I highly recommend people subscribe to that podcast, linked in the app also under the web button. Belief is the enemy of knowing. Belief is easy. You believe my name is David. Is it? Do you know that it's David? Okay. It is, but you believe it. You haven't verified it. You've been told things by a guy in a bow tie, a guy in a lab coat, that you never were verified. You were told the sun is 93 million miles away, and you think that somebody figured that out. Nobody ever figured that out. It's nonsense. Okay. You believe everything. If I told you right now, I went to medical school and I dropped out in my fourth year because I realized allopathic medicine was nonsense. You could believe that. Sometimes at the beginning of an interview, I actually tell that when they ask about my history, and everyone believes it. And then later, I talk about belief being the enemy of knowing. For example, I never went to medical school. You just believed it. But if you want to figure it out, it's going to take you a day or two to figure it out. Time and effort. All the stuff I'm pointing to you, it's actually really easy to verify now, especially with the app. But it takes time and effort and thought. They don't teach us to think in school. In school, you get A's for regurgitation, memorization, and regurgitation. And if you disagree what's in the textbook, if you disagree what the NIH or the CDC says, you get banned, you get punished. Okay? If you disagree with whatever the consensus is, you are an outcast. You are a terrorist. Okay? That's not a free world.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. More beautiful, delicious food for thought. And what nutritious food this is, that's for sure. So I want to say to you, thank you so much. I've really, really, really enjoyed having my mind open. And I've been looking forward to this, I've been thinking about this, the flat earth theory for probably at least a year and a half now. So I'm very happy to have connected with you.
Yeah. You're going to get attacked, by the way, by these globe trolls. Yeah. And
what's new?
They're going to say, he's just selling his app. He's a bullshitter, this and that.
No.
Ask them for one proof of the globe. Just basically, I respond sometimes. I go, "What is that? Your best proof of the globe? I'm a moron." But that's your best globe proof. It actually is their best program. Calling me a moron is the best globe proof that they have. Okay, there's nothing better. There's nothing better.
Exactly.
So you'll see these guys. They'll comment on everyone's video, right? They're probably already here. I haven't looked at the chat, but it's nonsense. So just if you still think that the Earth is a globe, anyone listening, ask yourself what's your number one reason. Then check the app and find out that's not a reason. Yeah. And then when you realize that you have not one proof, ask yourself why. Ask yourself why. Nature never lies. Go outside, sit down by a calm lake, figure it out.
Just makes such perfect sense. It really does. And you know, whatever you're saying to me, it's like through the conversation, and I'm sure it's probably the same, I don't know, maybe with Mornay, but I'm sure a lot of our viewers, you know, as you say, we've just been conditioned to believing that this is the way it is, and we accept it and kind of go with the narrative, you know. And now suddenly, you know, everything is changing, and it gives me a sense of peace, I've got to say. You know, there'll be certain people I look at and I talk to and I'll go, but this is really, it's a peaceful feeling.
I expect to see more blue dots in South Africa in the next couple of weeks.
You're going to find plenty.
I want to see more blue dots out there. And then when you have a lot of blue dots, do a meetup. Like, hey, we're going to all go meet at the Joe's Pizzeria or whatever. Yeah. And then everyone comes, and guess what? Every single person that shows up is your new best friend, because you're going to lose all your other friends when you tell them the Earth is flat.
But it's such a beautiful time. It's such a beautiful time to do that. You know, I'm just finding, and we say that so often. And I've got a feeling you might have been on Carmen Studer's show as well, weren't you? Pastor Dragonflower, Carmen Studer.
Maybe
were you on it?
I've been on so many shows, I have no recollection. Yeah. I have five more. I have 5 more interviews today, and I will remember this one because you guys are awesome, right? So I'm looking forward to it.
You're the first one that made me understood now, like kind of understood, like really grasp what the flat Earth theory is all about.
Yeah.
And I must say, I'm convinced. You know, for me, it always was about like, what does it matter? You know, flat Earth, hollow Earth, round Earth,
square Earth.
Yeah, for me, it was just about, you know, finding your true self, saving the children, saving the animals.
Yeah.
But today, you really showed me something that I love mathematics. I love geography and everything, and you made a lot of sense of that app.
Hit that Tataria mud flood button and start watching the videos there. And if you find a good video, you're like, wow, that was interesting. Subscribe to that channel and then watch their other videos.
I shall do that.
Mind bender. John Levy, one of the channels, JONLEVI, 20-minute video each week. Just once you start watching it, you'll be like, what? I can't walk outside now, walk through the woods. I used to walk through the woods. I'm like, oh, they're nice rocks and trees. Now I look and I'm like, those aren't rocks. Those are trees. You know, I'm like, it's incredible what you can see. Everything is right in front of us. And we've been blinded to it. We've been blinded to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank God for people like you who are prepared to be brave enough there and step out, because we all know when we take on a public platform like this, you know, our audience can be quite ruthless and quite hectic. Mm-hmm. But you know,
that's their problem, not mine. That's their problem.
Exactly. It's exactly. I was saying today as well, you know, no matter how many insults and accusations come flying in our direction, you know, it's really not about us. It's about the person projecting it. So I'm here to do what I'm doing. No one's going to deter me, and I can see, and I know the same with Mornay, and I can see the same with you. So just another global family we meet today.
If you can allow me to post links, I will go through the comments that people make, and I send them to useful links. I don't know if I can put hyperlinks, and then people can get some more useful information without even getting the app. I'll send them links.
Absolutely.
Anybody watches, they're done.
Well,
and just for those of you out there, you know, if somebody is trolling the chat or trolling the comments, just ask them, is that your best globe proof? Go check their channel. Usually there's 0 subs, 0 content.
Yeah.
Right? because there are teams of paid, CIA
trolls
people,
and stalkers.
trolls, yes, that are just trying to get you to walk away. Don't go there. It's easy. Go watch a movie. Go drink some beer. Go root for a sports team because they'll win, and then you got your win, and you're satisfied because you won something. They know that we're in a jail that we can't see. It's the globe. They know that we need a victory once in a while, so they have us sport teams, right? They have us, voting for sports and cheering, and then we have our win. And they know how to manage their slaves. I'm no longer a slave.
Totally. Have you seen the movie The Hunger Games?
The documentary, The Hunger Games? Yeah. Did you watch our election?
The movie?
No, I'm talking about the movie, the documentary.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to say, yeah.
Just Google U.S. election Hunger Games. Watch what they were all wearing. They literally recreated the inauguration of Let's Go Brandon is the Hunger Games. They were wearing the same outfits. Look at Lady Gaga. It was all of them. They redid the friggin' Hunger Games at the inauguration because that's what they're shooting for.
Mm-hmm.
Google it. Anyone listening, Google it.
And now they brought out that new series, the Squid Games on Netflix. It's apparently so famous.
That's the normalizes. That's so everyone is just normalized because what's coming if we don't wake up, speak up now. If we don't take back our world, that's what we're going to be used to. That's going to be the new normal.
You are so right.
That's the new normal. So anybody, if you know the truth and you're quiet, you are the problem. Okay? You are a problem more than the person that doesn't know the truth.
Yeah.
I agree. Ignorance is not bliss,
Ignorance is not bliss, but willful ignorance is a crime against humanity.
Yeah, totally. Totally. I fully agree with that. Well, guys and gals, I'm so excited to have had you on tonight, David. As I said, I'll definitely have you on again. This is lots of fun. I've got lots of homework to do. I feel like a kid that's coming out of my first day at school, yeah. And looking at Mornay's face, I think it's the same for you, right?
Yes, definitely. I want to go see a lot of things.
You know where you can start? In the app, go hit the web button and then hit the documentaries button. And there's a whole bunch of longer format videos. Watch them. Turn off the TV, not for a month, forever, and just watch these videos. They're fascinating. They're well done. The ones that say documentaries or feature full-length flat Earth videos. Awesome stuff. You'll watch it and you'll be like, wow, that was really well done. And holy crap, I've been blinded my whole life.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm very happy that we got eyes wide open again, no longer eyes wide shut. I think everything is opening at the moment. Very grateful to say. So Dave, once again, thank you so much. We look forward to having you back again. We're going to be posting your links and doing whatever you can post, whatever. And we will be also definitely getting your app and educating ourselves with that and encouraging our viewers to do the same, because I think it's so important. I think when stuff like this starts surfacing, we should never ever ignore it, ever, because I think it's.
Here's what I can guarantee you: you will make new friends that are the best friends ever. You will never be bored for a second. Right? I've known about the flat Earth since 2015. Haven't had a second of boredom. I've been stuck in traffic for like hours and hours. I'm like, awesome. I can listen to more content. It's like you're never bored. You're never at a lack of something to say. Right? It's fascinating. And I look at normies, right? I look at normies like, what do they talk about? Sports, weather, politics, crime. I'm like, what are they talking about? What this
COVID.
Is your life?
They love talking about COVID.
Well, I love talking about it because from my side of the view, it's like it's a fascinating scam that's going on. It's amazing. But they're talking about this whole insanity. Right.
Exactly. Oh, wonderful.
All right.
This has been great. Thank you so much. You're awesome. Thank you.
All right, guys. Bye.
Cheers, Dave. Okay, guys and gals. Wow, what a wonderful interview. So thank you so much for watching us again on Aquarius Rising Africa. If you haven't given us a like, a share, and subscribe yet, please do. Catch us on Facebook, BitChute, Twitter, and Telegram. And God bless you all. Thank you so much. Another exciting day, and we look forward to learning more about our beautiful flat Earth. God bless you all. Cheers.
Ciao, everybody.